Hey budget fam, it's Jordan from Jordan Budgets. I am so happy to be with you guys at the start of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel this last year. If you're brand new to my channel and this is the first video you're seeing, hi, hello, and welcome. My name is Jordan. We love talking about budgeting on this channel. I am a cash budgeter, so a lot of that is in this channel. And moving forward into 2024, we are going to talk about all of the budgeting things that we can come up with. We are going to be taking paper to pen and talking about my real numbers today, talking about my real goal for 2024, how I pay for everything as a single mom of 2 boys, and all of my money, all of my income comes from YouTube and Etsy. We're moving away from Etsy this year and moving into our own website. I plan on sharing all of my real numbers in this video. Please be kind. You guys always are. Thank you for that. I do appreciate you for that. And if you find any value in this video or you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and please go ahead and like this video. That helps the channel grow. It does help support me and my family, like I was just talking about. So we are going to be popping into my little planner. Y'all, I'm using this little Hobonichi Weeks for everything this year. It is a goal of mine to launch my own planner line, and there are some things that, like, in my own planner line, that obviously this is not my planner line. What am I saying? This is not my planner line, but if you've been around for a while, you know I want to launch my own planner line. But for the time being, this little thing is a beast. I'm loving this Hobonichi Weeks, and I'm just flipping open because I did go ahead and write down some numbers. If you want to screenshot and not watch the rest of the video, you can probably grab all of my numbers from right here. And I think I'm going to go live later tonight to talk about 2024 goals. If you are interested, keep an eye out for that. But for the purposes of this video, we're just setting that aside. I have been, if you don't know, I am very chatty. So this is going to be a very chatty video as well as talking about my numbers. I've been a little MIA the last couple of weeks, and typically when that happens, it just means life has gotten away from me. It was not intentional. This time I am on a trip. I'm in my new house. We're gonna talk about it, guys. It has not been talked about yet, like where I am and what's going on. I will be talking about it soon, but I thought in the chaos of like this move and what's been going on behind the scenes, I have intentionally just kind of unplugged because I wanted to think about, like, what do I really want to share this year? What are my true goals of the channel? What are my true goals of my budget? Budget-wise, this is what we're going to stick with for this video. Budget-wise, I have been all over the place. My personal has been very intermingled with my work. I think it's kind of to be expected because I'm a YouTuber. A lot of work is life as well. Like, there's no getting around it. It kind of gets very, very intermingled. So I've been paying a very close attention. I'm filming on the counter, so if you see crumbs or food, excuse the mess. I have been really breaking apart my budget these last couple of weeks. That's one of the things I've been doing, but I've been really trying to see exactly what money needs to go where, what my goals are, and sort of how life is going to look moving forward, because taxes are not fun when everything is like super intermingled and I don't really have a goal. This is a budgeting channel. We're just going to go ahead and write, let me get one of my highlighters because I enjoy highlighters. We are going to write my personal, and as you see, I'm just doing this on a sheet of paper. You really don't need anything fancy to get started with budgeting, guys. I do have all the tools. I am a cash budgeter. I create cash budgeting things. So I have a lot of fun stuff because I enjoy making my budget fun, but to really sit down and just make your budget goals and to outline everything, you don't need anything special. You need a sheet of paper. And honestly, to make budgeting fun, you could doodle and make it fun on a sheet of paper. I'm just a little extra. So we're writing personal, work, and kids, which is something else we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how I'm breaking up the kids budget in just a second. Let me bring you guys down. I am going to try to not heavily edit this video. Let me know what you guys think about this style. I have previously, in all the time I've been on YouTube, which is a whopping 2 years, but in all of that time, I very heavily edited out like the a lot of the mistakes and a lot of the space. I think a lot of my videos I'm going to try to keep like this, just like you're live here with me. I might cut out a conversation with a kid here and there, like, because I am a single mom, so I do have kids popping in and out of the room. So like I might edit out those things. But as far as like my breathing and like the stopping and starting, sometimes I think I'm just going to leave that in an effort to just be more present with you guys and to not overthink it. So let me know what you think about this video if you've watched past videos and you have something to compare to. Do you prefer for me to heavily edit it? Because I am a little scattered. I tend to get off course at times. Let me know if that's just too hard to follow, or if you prefer the less edited videos like this one is going to be. So what I was saying is personal, work, and kids all have been just personal. As money comes in, I really just try to figure it out like in the moment, right? Like I don't know, I'll get $2,000 from Etsy and I just think like, what do I need now? What is a saving goal of mine this month? I don't break it up into the goals that I have overall, which I'm changing this year. So personal, we're gonna start with my personal money and goals, which are gonna look very typical for a lot of you guys. And then we'll move into work. I am a full-time YouTuber and I guess that's it. I'm cutting off the Etsy part at this point. So I'm a full-time YouTuber with a website coming in the next couple of days. So this might look a little bit different to you guys, but this is going to be very basic. So let's move through this kind of quickly. I do have a partial mortgage, hint, hint, as to what's going on in my life. Mortgage and bills for me are now $800 total. What a blessing. I know, don't get hung up on that one point and say like, I could never, because everybody's situation is different, right? But I know most people's rent and bills are not $800 right now. We're going to talk about it when we get into a work goal in just a second. My car note is still $400. So $400 for a car note. Gas for the car, we are going to shoot for $150 this year. It has always been a bit higher than that, but I'd say that's a pretty stable number for me. And with the move, now not considering going back and forth because I'm not fully moved yet, but once we're here full-time in March, my gas bill should not be that much because we're pretty close to all of the things. So gas, we're going to say 150 is my overall goal. My food goal is $600. That is also much lower than it's been for me. I will say you are not going to see at this point or any point this year, you should not see, okay, let me know if you start seeing it sneak in at some point. You should not see a fast food category for me this year. Inflation is absolutely wild and something has got to go. And for me, that's fast food. I want to get my health a bit more on track anyway. I want to cook more at home. I want to make cooking videos for you guys and talk about how I'm preparing meals ahead of time and how much those cost and things. I think that all of us are having our budget, like our budgets are just very tight right now. Am I speaking just for myself or do you guys feel it too? Like, the price of everything is raising. And for me, the thing that should just go, and it's just natural for me to say it, is fast food. Fast food should go. There's no reason I should be spending as much money as I spend on fast food and convenient meals. Like I do buy convenient meals from the grocery store. That's got to go. So our food bill is $600 right now. We are going to have a little bit of our grocery budget worked into work. Again, I'm sharing my real numbers on how I expect this to go as a YouTuber, and I want to be completely transparent here. So I hope I don't lose you guys when I start talking about my work budget, because it is a little unique as a YouTuber. Weekly money. This is for fast food. Not fast food. I just said we're not doing fast food. This is for the very occasional coffee for me. We're only giving ourselves $50 for weekly, and something else that might pop up. And again, this is like our monthly budget. So $50 for weekly money. I'm considering this more a buffer. I do not want to rely on coffee that I get out. I don't want to, I don't want to just like wastefully spend money. And I feel like that happens when I give us weekly money just to survive. So I'm just giving us $50. That is going to be a huge stretch for me to curb that, like those impulse purchases or that like quick coffee while we're on the go. To get it down to $50 a month is going to be a miracle. Okay, so we're gonna do our very best. But I will say, with this entire budget, my goal is to get us on this budget by the middle of the year. It's not necessarily where we're starting out, but my major goal for this year is to get us on budget. And this is the budget, right? We're not going to change our budget. We're not going to be shifting things around like we usually do. This is the budget for the year. Cash envelopes, we are going to put $400 here. And this is not going to be just extra money to throw where we want. I have actually written down like these are the goals for the year. Let me see if I can pull them up for you guys. And of course, we're going to talk about this in upcoming budget videos, but things like Christmas, birthday, car insurance. I want to get the boys and I snowboards and skis. We just went on our very first snowboarding trip. It was so much fun, but that is something that we're going to be able to do local to where we are living. So I want to get us taken care of there. The battery's not about to die. I need to pause this and come right back. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. My memory card gets full at like the 11-minute mark. Is it just me? What is wrong with my memory card? I don't know why it does that, but we were hitting that point, so I needed to sort of refresh us here. Another thing is my oldest really loves sports. I have my own like, I have some, what am I trying to say? I need to save for parking now. That's not something we ever had to worry about. Paying for parking in Mississippi, like that's not a thing. Maybe in Jackson, but I was on the Gulf Coast. So I do need to start saving towards packing. I have some trips I want to take for the boys. We have a AAA car tag, like all of those things. That's the majority of our needs for this coming year. I did not list a couple of things or mention a couple of things just now, but that was the majority of what our cash envelopes is going to go towards. So you're going to see me slowly saving for all of those things. And the goal is, let's not say hope, no, the mission is, and what is going to happen is all of that needs to come out of $400 per month. And I am also going to be trying to do like you hear all these like, I'm trying to get rid of those. I will get rid of those words. Okay, it's going to happen. Let's finish this and then I'll complete that thought. Fun and school. So I did leave us a little bit of buffer. My kids are homeschooled. I homeschool them. So I can't really cut out the fun money and the school money. That's how they socialize. That's how they learn. So it's not like I can just cut those things out and like to tighten the budget. This is a really strict budget for me, but it would be unfair and I feel, dare I say, unethical for me to just cut out all of the fun and school money for them because I am homeschooling them. It's a choice, but I can't let that category fall through, right? So $250 for fun and school, though by no means do we have to spend all of that money. I will be finding more fun, free things instead of always just doing whatever we feel like doing. Automatic purchases, we are going to cut that down to $50. Right now we sit more at about $100. My goal is to get that down to $50. And then meds for me are $50. Now you will not see any, you don't see medical on here. You don't see savings, like long-term savings or anything like that. We'll talk about that in a second, but this is our basic personal budget, which I believe, like math is not my strength, ironically, that should work out to $2,750 per month. So you can see this is a very tight budget, right? What was I gonna say earlier? Oh, my intention is to try to save as much of this as we can. Even though this is a tight budget, I still am on a mission to save more of this money, cut some corners with food or like, you know, create cheaper meals and maybe even get that down. Fun and school, if there's any left over, it's going to either go towards our cash envelopes. If we have some big goals coming up, we'll have like an extra cash stuffing that month for all of the personal money that was not spent. But you guys will not believe this. Maybe you will. If you've been watching me, you're probably like, yeah, we've noticed. Since I started working full-time for myself about 1.5 years ago, I have not really had a goal. Like, what is my mission, right? Like, my mission is to stay with personal at $2,750. I have just been like, if I have a really high month with income, I spend more into personal. If I have a really high month, I might, you know, pay a big chunk of like, get this work thing that I've been wanting. I have not really had a foundation of like, this is the mission, and then anything extra, which is my plan, anything extra for personal gets to go towards cash envelopes. Anything extra overall, say I have a really good pay month, it is going to go towards some long-term things, right? We'll probably expand on that in a second. If we don't come back to it, I'm sorry. My brain is always scattered. I'm sure sometime this year we will come back to it. But before I get too lost down that rabbit hole, let's talk about work for a second, and then kids, because kids is a very brand new category. Okay, it's not a new category, but how we are handling it is brand new. Work. The mission is to spend about $3,500 per month on work needs. Now, before we talk about the specifics, this is not something that has been guaranteed in my pay. Like, I have not made a guaranteed, what is that total? I think once you count the kids, okay, this is where like my scattered moment comes in. The kids, we're just gonna say before we even get into these categories. Kids, we have 500 as a total, work 3,500, and then personal 2,750. That totals 6,750. I will say, as far as like overall for YouTube, Etsy, and stuff that I've been doing in 2023, I typically meet that goal. Like, that is pretty typical, but there have been some weeks that I've worked less, and there have been some months that I've worked way less, like talking about when I abruptly moved from my apartment to a tiny studio apartment. It's been a hot mess here, right? But I do think that that is a number I should hit. And instead of, oh, I made $8,000 this month, instead of saying, oh, we have extra fun money, we can randomly go on a trip, which is exactly where we're at now. We're at the new house, which was not really budgeted for, but I wanted to do it, so we did it. We're gonna stop doing stuff like that, right? Then the mission is, if we go above this 6,750, then we get to put more money into some work savings, put some money into some healthcare savings, and put money into long-term savings, right? So we will talk about that when that happens. But I will say, as we shift away from Etsy and move straight to YouTube, primarily just YouTube, and my website, I don't exactly know that we're going to be hitting this number these first few months or even the first half of the year. We are going to see. But in order for all these numbers to work, this is my target. My target is to get to this. And people see this number. I'm going to speak for myself. When I first saw this number coming into me, really this whole last year, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're making so much money, right? Because I am a poor single mom. And to me, I don't know what you guys are floating with, but to me, that is a lot of money. But in reality, when I start breaking things up and I start looking at expenses to keep YouTube and Etsy going and stuff, like, I'm spending more on work than I am in my personal budget. My personal actual budget is less than $3,000. My mortgage and bills, I've had to make some sacrifices and some life decisions to cut this down, because this has not always been this way, right? And again, this is more that we're going to talk about later. Let's move into what is my favorite category though, which is work. So work, we have the very most expensive thing, warehouse. I do not have a warehouse yet, y'all, but oh man, I put this number in a bad spot. Let's put warehouse down here as far as how much it's going to cost. I am making some sacrifices this year and for the foreseeable future to keep that mortgage and bills down. I'm calling it a sacrifice, but honestly, it's a win-win for everybody. We will talk about it. I'm sure I've dropped so many hints that you guys know what's going on at this point, but warehouse, I intend on saving $1,500 every single month towards a future warehouse. My living situation has changed in such a way so that I can prioritize getting my own workplace. Now I am on YouTube full-time. I'm launching my own website, but in addition to that, I would really like to have a planner line, and my office becomes so consumed with the cash budgeting stuff, which I absolutely love and don't want to give up, the cash budgeting products that I do. I would like to get a warehouse at the end of the year, expand on the cash budgeting stuff that I'm doing, and have a planner line. But I just don't feel comfortable running all of that out of my house. My kids live here. They already homeschool here. They don't need people coming in and out either. But this is the hope and the dream for the start of 2025. Oh my gosh, that sounds so weird to say. We are just starting 2024. So even that feels like, oh my gosh, we're in the future. We have arrived. Warehouse though, by the end of this year, I would like to have been saving $1,500 every single month this year. That's gonna give me a cushion or like a starting point, a little savings of money for the warehouse. And I want to prove to myself that I can pay that amount per month. I'm not talking about renting. I'm talking about getting a piece of land and owning. That is the conversation for a different day, but that is the hope and the dream. Taxes, we're gonna put away $500 every single month for taxes. I've said this before 1,000 times, I'll say it again. I'm a single mom, I have 2 kids. So I do get a lot of questions on like taxes. You gotta put away 1/3 in taxes. But when you look at my personal money, I'm not making that much. And because I am a mom, I learned this last year when we got our taxes set away, like my work expenses are like such an amount that I don't owe a lot in taxes. So I'll be surprised if a lot of this taxes even ends up being taken from me. Okay, let's restart. We're already at 11 minutes again. Okay, we're back. I will be surprised if even this $500 is taken, but I would like to get in the habit of putting away $500 every single month for taxes, and it's going to help me pay for my tax lady. It's going to help me if I do owe, I don't want to be surprised, right? So we're going to put aside $500 every single month for taxes, but I will say in full transparency, this has not even been, I haven't made enough in the past to really pay much at all. Like I've paid some, but I have not paid much, right? For the most part, my income is not high enough yet. However, 2025 is going to be the year for me. We are going to grow. We are going to expand. We're going to have a warehouse and employees. We are on the path to major success, right? I can feel it. I'm very excited about it. And if you are staying on this journey with me, thank you. I'm excited to bring you guys along, and we're going to keep talking about my budget all this year, and you guys can kind of see how this shakes out in like actuality, okay? Talking about being a YouTuber and how that affects my channel, or how that affects my budget, rather. YouTube, I'm gonna put $1,000 per month into YouTube. And this is where it gets a little weird, okay? And I don't feel like people talk about this enough. And I don't know why. I'm like, am I supposed to not talk about this? What is going on? But when I buy groceries because I wanna cook something for you guys, that gets to get taken out of my YouTube budget. If I am going on a trip because I want to show you guys how to go on a trip for like a cheap, affordable amount, that is work money, right? That's YouTube money. So I'm having $1,000 per month into YouTube. This does though also cover, it covers some automatic purchases. Like I sort of say, I use Canva and a couple of design things. That's more for like the website, but whatever, you know what I'm saying. Like I do have some editing programs for video content. So there are some automatic purchases that come out of that $1,000. There's some tech needs. This camera, y'all, I have had for forever, before I was even a YouTuber. I bought it because 10 years ago I wanted to be a YouTuber. I didn't do anything at that point. Like I did not become a YouTuber. I'm gonna take you guys out this way first. I'm not taking you out. I'm zooming out for a second. I bought this camera so long ago and it has started acting so funky. So some of this money is going to need to get saved for new tech. I need to put some money away for my computer. I'm wearing my computer out, guys, because I'm constantly on it editing and stuff. So some of this money goes towards things that I'm showing you guys, which is where the personal and the work money gets a little bit blurry. But this year I'm going to be really intentional about my personal money versus what I'm buying to show you guys, right? So you will see me break down some of these work numbers in the future. Let me know if that sounds interesting to you or if it's less interesting. If you're not a YouTuber, you know, it may just be kind of boring. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on from that. But I did want to mention it though, because I said earlier my food budget is only $600. I'm thinking a couple $100s per month of this YouTube money is going to also go towards groceries, which gets a little weird, but I'm planning to, I say it gets a little weird. It's really not that weird, but I feel like as the viewer, you might be like, what? Because I did not understand how to separate all of this before. I was saying that though, this year I do intend on, or I will, oh my gosh, y'all, I cannot be assertive, apparently. This year I will be showing you guys a lot of food prep and a lot of freezing meals ahead of, you know, so that you're prepared and you're not impulse buying. So I do plan on some of that food coming from YouTube. The other thing, and the last category, is products. I wrote half of that word and then I was like, what am I writing? Products for my website. I wanted to say Etsy so bad, but products for my website. I plan on spending about $500 per month, or at least setting that money aside. And again, there are some automatic needs like Canva and a different design program that I use. Like there's a couple of things that come out of product cost, but at this particular moment, I'm pretty well stocked on product needs because I got some large shipments right before I moved out of that rental, that 3-bedroom rental apartment or rental house. So we're pretty well stocked on product needs, but things do come up time to time. My mission is to focus more on YouTube this year, so that's why YouTube has a higher budget. It's not that products are cheaper. I guess I just want to clarify that one point. Products are not cheaper than YouTube production. It's just YouTube is the intention of like my energy this year as we are going through so many like major shifts. Okay. Last and final thoughts. If you are still here with me while we're chatting about like the kids' needs, leave your favorite emoji down below and let me see all these different emojis and see who made it all the way to kids. This is our last category, so we're gonna go pretty quick on this one too. Well, are we though? Are we going pretty quick? Let me back up for a second. There are some kids' needs. Now let's just talk about let me like write the kids' needs down while we chat about why this is separated. So my kids have been wanting chore money. I've done chore money in the past, but I honestly have a really weird dislike for chore money because as their mom, I don't get paid to, you know, make my bed. I don't get paid to help bring dishes in. I don't get paid to mop the floor. So I feel like especially raising boys, it sends a weird message to pay them to help around the house. It's like not something I can get behind. I have done it before, but we always fall off of it because I just have some weird feelings about giving kids chore money. I don't know. I also, let me back up and say I was not paying them, or they weren't doing like, these are your set chores, and then if you do these extra chores, then I'll pay you. I think that does make sense, or like it makes more sense. However, I'm in the unique situation that they really could help me with work. So I think I'm gonna start paying the boys to help me work. As we start this year, I do intend on doing a lot of cooking videos. I'm not somebody who typically, moving you out again, I am not someone who typically is pro putting your kids online. I'm actually pretty against kids having YouTube channels and things, but I don't feel bad about them just like helping me in the kitchen a little bit, or if they want to help me in a cash stuffing video, not that that would become in any way a staple. Like, and if you see them in my videos, it's going to be like just a little bit here and there, and they're never going to become a huge part of my channel, right? This is my channel, my budgeting journey. However, I'm thinking they could be in it a little bit because they're going to be helping me in the kitchen some during the cooking videos. And then my oldest is definitely old enough to help me just like move a camera every once in a while. The annoying part about filming to me when it comes to like filming in the kitchen is I'm sitting there cooking and then I have to like run over. I'm not literally running anywhere. It's not that big of a kitchen, but I like run over and I get the camera and I have to move it to a different angle. Like my kids are old enough, they're 7 and 9. They could easily move around cameras for me and it would honestly be very helpful, right? So they are each going to get $250, hence this like, $500 budget. They're going to start getting $250 per month to help me with work. We're going to see how it goes. I don't know that this is going to be a long-term plan, but we have had very long conversations about it, and they are very excited to participate and to get their own budget. This is not going to cover all of their needs by any means. So weekly money or school and fun money and cash envelopes are gonna have to cover the majority. You know, like I'm not asking them to pay for their entire ride here, but I did give them a higher amount than I would typically give for just like a allowance. Oh, and let me back up and say, one of my kids is waking up, so I got a little distracted, but in order to work with me and for them to make this money, they have to do their chores. So they're gonna do chores just because they are a functioning member of this family. They have to consistently do their chores, and then they can help me with work that day. So I'm not paying them to do chores, which I do have weird feelings about. Not that anybody should, you know, nobody should care about what I feel about, right? Like do you. But because I do have the opportunity to encourage them to do their chores and then they get to work with me, I think this is going to be perfect for us if they want to continue doing it. So they are going to set aside $30 every month for their own clothes. They get $40 per month for just like frivolous spending, whatever they want to spend on. Sharing, they're going to get $30 per month, and this is going to go towards saving for friends' birthday presents and saving for Christmas presents for family. And then schooling classes, $120. This is by no means going to cover all of their school and all of their class money that they're going to need. This is going to cover like a sum. So for example, one of my kids is in an out school class. It's $60 per month. He's going to cover his out school class, right? And then he's got $60 more to get into gymnastics or something like that. Like this is not, I'm not expecting them to cover their full weight. Again, fun in school. I overly want to stress like $250 per month per kid is not going to cover all their needs, right? If you're a parent, you know $250 per month per kid is like a drop in the bucket. But I think this is going to be great for them. It's going to encourage them to work and to contribute to some of their own needs. And then they're also going to save for $30 per month towards some things for their own vacation. Again, I'm still covering vacations, but if they get there and they really want, you know, a $50 toy, or they really want to zip line for the third time and I don't want to pay for it, they are going to have their own money to do that, right? So $500 per month is going to start going towards the kids, because they're going to start working with me. This, out of all of the things, this is the only thing that I'm up for it changing or it not working out, because again, they have to do their chores first, and if they just don't want to do it, I'm not going to make my 7-year-old and my 9-year-old continue to help me if they're just really against it. If they don't want to help move the camera, if they don't want to help cook, this is not going to be a forced thing. So if anything changes this year, I'm going to give us some grace or some leeway on this. So that is my full budget. Let me know what you guys think. I'm thinking I'm going to go live later tonight, so also keep an eye out for that. Again, happy new year. I'm so excited to spend another year with you guys. As always, I love you, I appreciate you, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.